Hey everyone, we've got a major storm brewing, and it's going to cause way more problems than you might expect. Over the next few days, we're looking at significant snowfall stretching from the central plains to the Midwest, an increased risk of severe weather, and a big blast of cold air. But that's not all after this system moves through. We're going to have to deal with yet another storm later this weekend, bringing even more issues. So, in today's forecast, we're going to break it all down and go over exactly what you need to know about the weather that's about to impact the U.S. over the next 7 days. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Let's start with what's happening right now across the country. And I want to begin with that big storm system that's now moving off the East Coast. This is the same system that caused the devastating tornado outbreak on Friday and Saturday, and I've got some major updates for you. We now have confirmation of 3 or 4 tornadoes from that outbreak, and in total, over 70 tornadoes have been confirmed so far. When all is said and done, that number could easily top 100 in just that 48-hour window. And let's not forget the damage. This was a major tornado outbreak. Over 40 people lost their lives, and aside from the tornadoes, we had destructive winds tearing through the Midwest and Northeast, plus dust storms causing even more chaos. This is one of the deadliest tornado outbreaks we've seen in over 5 years. Now, shifting focus to the Great Plains. Things are relatively calm at the moment, but that's not going to last long. A huge storm is developing over the next 24 hours across the Central Plains, and this one's going to pack a punch. We're talking about a significant winter storm for the Midwest, and by late Wednesday into Thursday, we'll see another round of severe weather ramping up from the Ohio Valley down to the Deep South. We're even expecting some snow and rain in the Northeast as this system continues moving through. If we look at the damage reports from this past outbreak, you can see 2 major areas with widespread wind damage, one across the Midwest and another in the Northeast. And just look at the tornado reports. There are a ton of them, especially in the Mississippi River Valley. Keep in mind, these are just the reported tornadoes. There could be even more that haven't been officially documented yet. Now, if that wasn't crazy enough, we actually have a teen chance of tropical development over the next 48 hours. Yes, you heard that right. A tropical system in March. This is happening north of the Leeward Islands, and it's something the National Hurricane Center just flagged yesterday afternoon. This is almost unheard of for this time of year. Now, don't worry, it's not going to impact the U.S., and we're not talking about a full-blown hurricane, but even the potential for a short-lived tropical system this early in the year is extremely rare. We'll keep you posted if anything comes of it. All right, back to the big storm system heading for the U.S. tonight and into tomorrow. By tonight, we'll start seeing snow develop in Nebraska and Kansas, and as we head into the overnight hours, that snow is going to spread into the Midwest. But this isn't just some light March snowfall. This is a major winter storm. Blizzard conditions are likely from Kansas all the way up into Iowa and Minnesota. By Wednesday, around lunchtime, the snowfall is going to intensify. We're looking at a narrow but intense band of heavy snow from central Wisconsin down into Kansas City, where snowfall rates could hit 2 to 3 inches per hour. Combine that with strong winds, and we're going to have near zero visibility in some areas. At the same time, we'll also be tracking a risk of severe weather across the Deep South and parts of the Midwest. Damaging winds will be the primary concern, but there is a chance for an isolated tornado or 2 in Illinois and Indiana by the evening hours. Meanwhile, heavy snow will continue falling in the Midwest, especially near Chicago and southern Wisconsin. By Thursday, the storm system will start to weaken, but we're still going to see some showers and thunderstorms on the East Coast, plus lingering snow in the Ohio Valley. And as we head into Friday, there's still a bit of uncertainty about what will happen in the Northeast, but I do think central and northern New England could pick up a few inches of snow before everything wraps up. Looking at snowfall accumulation, the heaviest amounts will be in northern Iowa, eastern Nebraska, and southern Minnesota, where we could see 8 to 12 inches of snow. Central Wisconsin and the upper peninsula of Michigan will also get hit pretty hard, with 6 to 10 inches expected. Even parts of northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and eastern Iowa could see a light coating of snow. And while Kansas City isn't expected to get much accumulation, blowing snow could still cause travel issues. This storm is going to be strong, with our low-pressure system dropping to around 985 MB by tonight. That's not far off from the intensity of the storm that just caused the recent tornado outbreak. However, one limiting factor is the amount of moisture available. With much of the moisture already used up by the previous system, it's going to be harder for the storm to fuel another major tornado outbreak. That said, there will still be enough wind shear and instability to produce some severe storms, so we'll be keeping a close eye on it. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Speaking of severe weather, tonight's storms will mainly produce some hail and strong winds in Iowa and eastern Nebraska. And get this, some areas could see severe storms and then snowfall within just a few hours. Talk about wild weather. By Wednesday, the risk of severe weather shifts east, with Illinois and Indiana now under a slight risk. Damaging winds and hail will be the main threats, but again, we can't rule out an isolated tornado or two. Even parts of Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, and Mississippi could see a brief spin-up tornado despite less favorable conditions. Now, on top of all that, we also have a fire risk to deal with. Strong winds across the central and southern plains could lead to extreme fire weather conditions, with gusts reaching 50 to 65 mph, possibly even 70 mph in some areas. The highest fire risk is in West Texas and western Oklahoma. Looking ahead, after this storm system moves out, things will briefly quiet down on Friday, but don't get too comfortable. By late Sunday into Monday, another big storm system is on the way. This one will bring the potential for severe weather from East Texas into Georgia and Tennessee, along with possible late March snowfall in the Midwest and Northeast. Now, things change when a cold front moves in. We'll see that warmth spreading eastward, and by Wednesday, even the panhandle of West Virginia could see record highs. Widespread 60s and 70s will cover the eastern U.S. before cool down hits on Thursday. But don't worry, by the time we reach Friday, March 21st, the winds shift again, bringing warmth back just in time for the official start of spring. Now let's take a look at the radar. We've got some lingering rain and snow across the east, especially along the New England coastline. There's even some snow up in northern Maine, but that system is moving out. Meanwhile, out west, we're tracking a lot of energy bringing cold air aloft and snow across the western U.S. this evening. And this is just the beginning. Through Tuesday, we'll see more of that precipitation, particularly in the form of snow spreading into Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado. By Tuesday night, that snow starts pushing into Nebraska and South Dakota. In terms of rain, this isn't going to be a huge rainmaker for the West, so mudslides aren't a major concern. Instead, this system is going to be more of a snow producer. That cold air aloft will help keep those snowflakes intact from the clouds all the way to the surface. Especially in the higher elevations, the Sierras could be looking at another 1 to 2 feet of snow, which is great news for ski resorts. And it's not just the Sierras. Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Nevada, Idaho, and parts of Montana are all in for significant snowfall, especially the western and southern parts of Montana through Wednesday. But here's where things get interesting. As this system moves east of the Rockies and encounters more instability, severe weather is going to become a factor. By Tuesday, March 18th, we already have a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk for severe weather across eastern Nebraska and Iowa. That includes cities like Omaha, Des Moines, and Waterloo. The primary threat is hail, but there's also the potential for gusty winds and maybe even a brief tornado. Now, let's break it down further. The low levels of the atmosphere in Iowa and eastern Nebraska are actually pretty dry, with dew points in the upper 20s to mid-30s. That means we need a lot of moisture to build things up. But by the evening, we'll see just enough for some storms to fire up. The drier mid-levels will also help enhance hail production. With instability values around 500 joules per kilogram, it's not off the charts severe, but it's enough to get some small to medium-sized hail, maybe up to quarter size. Overnight Tuesday into early Wednesday, we do have some help from the mid-level jet, which, while a bit displaced, will still allow some storms to sustain themselves. That's especially true for Iowa and eastern Nebraska, where hail-producing storms could continue into the night. For most of the day, things stay quiet, but by the evening, we'll start seeing some scattered storm development in eastern Nebraska and northern Kansas. Some of these could already be producing hail. These storms will be isolated, meaning not everyone will see them, and certainly not everyone will experience severe weather. However, where those stronger cells do form, expect quarter-size hail and maybe wind gusts up to 40 MFL. If any storms get surface-based, there's even a brief tornado risk, though that remains low. Now, shifting to Wednesday, we're looking at a more widespread severe weather risk. A marginal risk extends from southeast Minnesota all the way down into Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. There's also a level 2 out of 5 slight risk for severe weather across eastern Illinois and western Indiana. This setup features a bit more moisture, with dew points rising into the low to mid-50s, possibly even near 60 in the south. Instability will also be higher, reaching 1,000 joules per kilogram in some areas, meaning a better chance for stronger storms. By Wednesday morning, we'll see the remnants of Tuesday night's storms weakening, but as we hit peak daytime heating, new storms will develop. Some could fire up as far west as the Mississippi River in eastern Iowa, northwest Illinois, and southern Wisconsin. These will intensify throughout the afternoon and evening before losing steam after sunset. Meanwhile, on the cold side of the storm, heavy snow is going to be an issue. Tuesday morning, that snow will be over the Rockies, but by Tuesday night, it moves into Nebraska, Kansas, western Iowa, and southern Minnesota. Some spots could see snow rates of an inch per hour, leading to reduced visibility, especially for Wednesday morning commuters in places like Omaha and Lincoln. By Wednesday, as colder air sweeps eastward, areas like Des Moines, Waterloo, Green Bay, and Marquette, Michigan will see heavy snowfall. Parts of Ontario and Quebec and Canada will also get hit Wednesday night into Thursday. The accumulations will be impressive, with a swath of 6 to 10 inches expected from northern Kansas through Iowa, southeast Minnesota, and central Wisconsin. However, due to warm ground temperatures, actual accumulations on paved surfaces will likely be closer to 2 to 4 inches. And let's not forget about the wind. Strong gusts are expected, especially across the Four Corners region, where wildfire concerns are high. Parts of New Mexico and West Texas could see wind gusts up to 80 mph. That's going to elevate fire weather risks significantly. Looking ahead to the weekend, another storm system is on the horizon. While Saturday's system will be moisture-starved, Sunday's setup in the southern plains and lower Mississippi Valley could bring another round of severe weather. Areas like Dallas, Little Rock, Memphis, and Jackson, Mississippi will need to watch closely. So if you found this info helpful, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video so more people can stay informed. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next update.